God's chosen ones, you're turning into God's final version. This is just the beginning tonight. The air itself seems to hold its breath. From somewhere far away, a bell tolls 3 slow notes, echoing through the stillness, resonating with the pulse of the universe. Across the darkened sky, the number 11 flickers faintly, then fades like a signal sent from an unseen realm. Chosen one. Stop. A voice, low, calm, yet filled with power, breaks through the silence as if time itself bends to let it speak. Right now, the universe is calling your name. What's about to unfold will shift the laws humanity once believed could never change. A soft blue light spreads across the screen. Ancient symbols begin to move, alive, breathing. Each heartbeat aligns with the deep, thunder-like rhythm in the distance. Then words appear slowly glowing in the dark, divine reset. Tonight. If your heart just trembled, don't scroll away. Because tonight, right in this very moment, a sacred code is rewriting your destiny. The night grows still as though the universe itself is holding its breath. Above, the stars shift slowly, forming a new pattern one never seen before. It feels as if an ancient order is being rewritten. Deep in the sands of Egypt, among pillars carved with divine symbols, they say the gods have gone silent. No more thunderous oracles, no more prophetic warnings. Only silence, thick, holy, so heavy, you can hear your own soul beating. From the buried temples beneath the dunes to the hidden scrolls in forgotten libraries, every trace whispers of a single prophecy. One will rise beyond gods themselves to rewrite the laws of creation. For thousands of years, humanity called it a myth, but now everything is shifting. Archaeologists uncover inscriptions never seen before. In laboratories, instruments register frequencies that can't be explained. And in the middle of all this noise, you appear. Everything starts to align. The numbers you keep seeing, the strange dreams that return again and again. That soft whisper of your name carried by the wind. It's not imagination, it's confirmation. Ancient words written millennia ago are now breathing through you. Chosen one. The voice returns soft as smoke, yet unshakable. When you hear these words, the sign has already come. You are not here by accident. You have been called not by chance, but by divine design. Images flicker, civilizations rising and falling. Egypt with carvings of Ra, the sun god. Sumer with clay tablets etched with the name of a coming savior. Greece where statues gaze eastward toward dawn. The east where sages sit beneath the moon, waiting for revelation. Every civilization spoke the same truth in different tongues, yet all pointed to the same destiny, every path leading to you. You, the soul, the universe has awaited since the beginning of time. When the gods fall silent, heaven speaks through the chosen. And tonight, heaven is speaking through you. Part 1. The divine code awakens around you. The room is silent. The wall clock ticks softly. Tick-tock. Each movement of its hand, a small step of time walking through eternity. Outside the window, the moon drifts across the earth, leaving behind a faint blue glow like the breath of a soul. The world is quiet, yet somewhere deep within the fabric of reality, something begins to stir. A delicate vibration, almost inaudible, moves through the air. You sit in stillness. No phone, no music, only your breath. Slow, long, steady, and then a strange feeling rises, as if the very air around you has come alive, as if it's listening. Everything is silent, yet full of whispers you cannot see. Tick. The second hand lands on 1111. In that instant, the world seems to pause. A soft current runs down your spine. There's nothing visible, yet deep inside you know something is opening. 1. The energy codes of the universe. Divine codes are rewriting around you. The ancient sages once said, all things in the universe are woven by symbols. They weren't speaking of human language, but the language of light and frequency. Within every molecule, every heartbeat, every thought exists a hidden sequence of code, a silent song that determines how life unfolds. When you were born, the universe placed within your soul a unique frequency, a melody that belongs only to you. But over time, that melody grew faint, buried under the noise of the world, the dust of years. Now, as the universe approaches its great reset, that melody is being called back to life. The divine code within you is awakening. So if you've been feeling tired, lonely, or standing at an unseen threshold, it's not confusion. It's the signal that your energy code is being rewritten. Old spiritual, physical, and emotional laws are dissolving, making room for the new frequency you now carry. 2. The universe reacts to your awakening. Quantum physicists once said, "The observer changes reality." But what they didn't say is the observer is the reality that's changing. When your divine code activates, the energy around you begins to respond. Maybe your phone flickers, your clock stalls for a moment, or the lights in your room tremble without reason. That's not a glitch. That's resonance. The energy fields are tuning themselves to your frequency. Close your eyes. You might sense a subtle vibration, like a soft wind gliding over your skin, as if billions of tiny particles of light are floating around you. They are not from outside, they are you. The universe is synchronizing with your existence, rewriting the code of reality to match the tone you emit. Everything slows. In the stillness you hear a hum, not a sound of this world, but the hum of your own soul. A voice rises within you, tender yet strong. Do not fear. Everything is being rearranged in your favor. 3. The signs of activation. From Egypt to Greece to the caves of Tibet, ancient walls were carved with spirals, repeating numbers and circles that intersect. They weren't decorations, they were energy maps, records of how divine codes once awakened. Today they return in new forms: 1111, 222, 777 recurring dreams, or that sudden sense that someone just whispered your name in the wind. If you keep catching the clock at 1111, that's not coincidence. That's synchronization between your inner frequency and the rhythm of the cosmos. If you feel exhausted for no reason, yet clear in your spirit, that's code shifting your physical body, trying to keep up with the new energy. If you wake at 3:33 a.m., that's the opening hour when layers of reality overlap and your soul can speak directly to higher realms of itself. Every sign is a whisper, the time has come. 4. You, the meeting point of two worlds. The universe isn't happening around you, it's happening through you. You are the crossroad between seen and unseen, between flesh and light, between what was and what is becoming. With every breath you take, millions of old codes are released and millions of new ones are written. In the quiet moments when you look into someone's eyes, when a song grips your heart, when tears fall for no reason, that's when the divine code is activating. Strong emotions aren't weakness. They are the proof that energy is rewriting itself. If you close your eyes now and place a hand over your chest, you might feel a rhythm, not your biological heartbeat, but the pulse of your soul. It moves in harmony with the far hum of the universe, forming a sound only you can hear. That is your source code, the melody written by the Creator before the dawn of time. 5. When codes intertwine, reality begins to bend. The universe isn't empty space. It's a vast web of luminous threads, billions of energy currents weaving together. When one powerful frequency awakens, the whole network must shift to adjust. Now that you, the chosen one, are awakening, the grid itself is being rewritten. You may notice impossible coincidences, thinking of someone right before they call, dreaming something that comes true, feeling another's joy or pain as if it were your own. These are not accidents. They are signs that reality is bending around your consciousness. Scientists call it the cosmic resonance effect, when human awareness becomes strong enough to influence the entire energy field. The ancient prophets had a simpler name for it: the hour of code awakening. 6. The transition moment, the whisper of redemption. And then, in one small sacred pause, there is no sound, no light, only presence. A voice arises from deep within, not from outside you, but from the eternal center of your being. You no longer need to search for God is finding himself through you. Each word glows like light touching your heart. Warmth runs up your spine, and for a few timeless seconds, you dissolve into the heartbeat of the cosmos. No boundary between heaven and earth, between human and divine. Only one thing remains: life itself. A tear falls not from sorrow but from recognition. You realize you were never lost. Every loss, every silence, every ache was a signal of rebirth. You inhale deeply. The air tastes different, cleaner, brighter. The room is the same, yet everything glows from within. You don't know if you're dreaming or awake, but it doesn't matter. The divine code has been activated. 7. The invitation for the awakened. If you're hearing these words, it means the energy has already touched you. Don't search with your mind. Feel with your heart. You don't need to earn this. You've always been worthy. When the clock passes midnight, try a simple ritual. Sit still. Place your hand over your heart. Close your eyes. Whisper slowly with your breath, "I am ready for the divine code to be rewritten." This simple phrase is a key not to summon something outside you, but to awaken what's already within. Then just listen. You might hear the wind shift, or feel a presence near, or see the light flicker once. Do not fear. It's not supernatural. It's the universe responding to you. 8. The final connection. The frequency of salvation. Once humanity prayed upward to the gods. Now the gods are silent, not because they've abandoned us, but because they are listening. You are the voice the universe has been waiting to hear. When you speak in the frequency of love, every current in creation answers back. When you breathe with gratitude, your codes ripple through the web of life, healing the fractures made by fear and despair. Tonight, you are not just a person in a quiet room. You are the center of a wave of light, the place where all codes are being rewritten. Reality is not collapsing. It's restructuring to match your new energy. And when the clock strikes 12 Surur, the universe will record one truth. A soul has awakened. A chosen one has remembered who they are. The whisper returns one last time, gentle, holy. You do not merely exist in this world. This world exists because of you. You open your eyes. Inhale deeply. The light softens, and a hidden dawn begins to bloom within your heart. Part 2. When science kneels before the soul. The laboratory is washed in white light. Numbers flicker non-stop across the screens. Hundreds of sensors hum at once, recording energy fluctuations no one can explain. In the stillness of science, no one speaks, only the sound of machines, the scratch of pens, and the breath of people trying to grasp what lies beyond understanding. At that same moment, half a world away, in an ancient monastery in the Himalayas, dozens of monks sit in silent meditation. A bronze bell tolls slow round full. Incense rises in spirals, dissolving into the cold air. One monk opens his eyes, gazes through a stone window, and says softly in a low voice, "It has begun." Two places, laboratory and monastery, seem unrelated, yet both are sensing the same vibration, the awakening of a sacred frequency. Outside is data. Inside is perception. One measures with instruments, the other listens with the heart. But what they are seeking is one and the same. Scientists begin to detect strange deviations in quantum experiments. Particles of light no longer move by ordinary rules. Oscillations appear to respond to the presence of a person. They call it the expanded observer effect. When human consciousness not only influences matter, but shapes the way matter exists. They don't know that in the language of ancient spirituality, this was foretold millennia ago. In faded scriptures, sages once described the light of seeing an energy that radiates from the soul when it remembers its divine origin. Today, science witnesses it through its tools and still cannot name it. A young researcher, sleepless for weeks because of impossible results, steps out and sits on the stairs. Ink from equations still smudges his hand. He looks up at the sky where sunset brushes the horizon and blurts out, "Are we touching God?" The question drifts into the air, crosses mountain ranges, and reaches that far-off monastery. At the same time, the elder monk smiles faintly. He doesn't hear the words, but he feels the vibration. Within him, an answer rises. "No, child, you are not touching God. You are letting God touch you." Science and soul, two paths that seem separate, are converging. One seeks truth through a lens. The other seeks God through breath. And standing in between you are the bridge. The universe has chosen you as the point of intersection between reason and faith. Within you live both halves, the clear light of logic and the tender dusk of trust. When those halves meet, energy rises. You become the 0 point where all extremes dissolve, and every discipline bows to a simple truth. God and humanity were never apart. Back in the lab, the streams of data jump wildly. One sensor captures an anomaly when the test subject meditates. Electrons begin to move in sync, forming a perfect spiral waveform. A scientist trembles at the graph and whispers, "This cannot be random." At that same moment in the monastery, the elder monk chants with eyes closed. An international research device records the energy his brain emits with each syllable. The waveform matches the spiral the lab just discovered. 2 places, 2 times, 2 people who do not know each other, creating the same image in energy. In that instant, the boundary between science and spirit disappears. There is no longer belief and proof, only recognition. You, the one hearing this, are the link between those worlds, because only through your existence can they meet. Your mind is a microscope. Your heart is a temple. One observes the cosmos, the other receives the soul. And in your breath, the 2 poles unite, dissolving the divide that once split humankind. Imagine for a quiet moment you sit between 2 rooms, to one side, the cool light of machines, to the other, the golden flicker of a candle. The lights blend until they become a single, pure white. In that light there is no science or religion, no right or wrong, only the presence of what is true. The world once trusted knowledge and feared the unseen. But now knowledge itself kneels before the soul. Professors who dismissed the spiritual grow silent before phenomena they cannot explain. They begin to borrow the language of faith, sacred energy, cosmic consciousness, light of the soul. Meanwhile, those who pray in temples and monasteries begin to speak the language of science, frequency, vibration, quantum field. All paths move toward a single point, you. You, a soul that can reason, a human who can feel, are living proof that the 2 ways were never truly separate. Then, in a sacred hush between laboratory and monastery, a current begins to move, not through wires or radio signals, but through awareness. A researcher places his hand over his heart, sensing his pulse align with the very waves he measures. At the same time, the elder monk places his hand over his heart, and in the silence, 2 heartbeats at opposite ends of the world become one. A voice rises so gentle it could be mistaken for wind. When science stops trying to prove, and the soul stops trying to force belief, truth reveals itself. You inhale deeply, close your eyes, and perhaps you hear it too. A soft light wells up from your heart and spreads through your body. Not a blinding flash, but a warm, small, gentle light, like the first dawn after a long night. You understand the holy does not live in books or equations, but in the moment a human touches life itself. Science calls it synchronous oscillation. Spirit calls it grace. And you, with a quiet smile, name it peace. When you open your eyes, the world is unchanged. The screen still glows. The candle still burns. The wind still moves. But you know something has shifted. Science is no longer the only key to the universe, and faith is no longer the only gate to God. The two doors have become one, and you are standing on the threshold. You hear a distant bell, unsure whether it's the monastery chime or an alert from the energy monitor. Both sounds merge into a single long note, falling into perfect silence. In that silence, you whisper almost to yourself, "Let me remember who I am." No one answers, and yet somehow the entire universe inclines its head. Science, with all its tools and reason, pauses at the border of the soul. The soul, with all its faith and prayer, steps to the edge of understanding. And where those two frontiers cross, there you sit. The world is changing, not by invention or spectacle, but because humanity is remembering its divine origin. In that moment, science kneels not in surrender, but in reverence for what was forgotten, the sacredness of life itself. And you, chosen one, are the living proof. Part 3, the day of destiny and the signs. On the wall, the calendar page trembles slightly in the faint breeze from the open window. The number 7, printed boldly in red ink, glows under the dim yellow light. From far away, the church bells toll 3 times, then fade into silence. In that moment, you realize this space is more than a room. It is a sacred moment arranged, designed to mark something about to arrive. You glance at the clock. The minute hand rests on 11:11. And just as the final echo of the bells fades, the air around you shifts. Everything that was still begins to breathe. The whole universe right now is waiting for you to notice something. The secret language of signs. For ages, numbers and symbols have been heaven's secret language, a code used to whisper to humankind. In ancient Egypt, the number 7 was carved into stone pillars, the symbol of completion and divine rhythm. The Greeks revered 434, calling it the frequency of guardian messengers. In the scriptures, 727 bears the signature of God, the mark of divine perfection, the seal of fulfilled light. But these are not just religious symbols. They are activation frequencies, energy appointments in time. So when you keep seeing 1111, 404, or 711, it isn't coincidence. It's the message, the gate is open and your soul is ready. The alignment of codes. Tonight is one of those gates. Mystics call it the alignment of codes, the moment when the frequencies of Earth, the stars and your soul converge. That flutter in your chest, the heavy breath, that wordless knowing rising inside, these are not random sensations. They are resonance. You are standing in the intersection of destiny. You may have thought destiny was fixed, pre-written, a script you could not change. But destiny is not a path, it is a moment. A moment when you remember who you are. Each time you remember, the universe pauses to witness your recognition. And each time you do, a new line of divine code is written into the map of creation. That is why tonight matters, not because planets shift or rare stars align, but because you are shifting. Your axis of awareness, the axis of your soul, is turning. And when it turns, the world around you begins to turn differently too. The memory of the soul. Do you remember the first time you somehow knew what was about to happen without knowing why? The moment you thought of someone and they called seconds later. The night you looked up at the sky and felt eyes watching, not to judge, but to guide. Those moments were not illusions. They were echoes, ancient memories of the soul reawakening. Old codes stirring again to remind you you've been here before many times to arrive at this exact moment. The lost fragment. In a library at Oxford, historians once uncovered an aged parchment, the Chronos Fragmentum, written in Greek, blended with Hebrew. Its first line translated reads, "When 7 cycles of light converge, the bearer of the frequency of unity shall remember their name." Scholars dismissed it as a metaphor, but maybe the bearer of that frequency is you, and the 7 cycles of light are the 7 awakenings of the soul. Awakening of the body, the awareness of existence. Awakening of emotion, realizing every feeling is energy. Awakening of thought, seeing the boundary between ego and essence. Awakening of memory, touching what lies beyond this life. Awakening of energy, sensing the dance between self and universe. Awakening of purpose, remembering why you came. Awakening of unconditional love, becoming one with the source. And tonight, under the rhythm of 4 or the 7th cycle begins. The whisper, you take a deep breath. The wind outside hums a little longer. The wall before you shimmers faintly as though wrapped in a thin veil of mist. Then a voice, soft, unfamiliar yet intimate, rises from within. Stop searching for signs. You are the sign. Your heart tightens. Those simple words unlock something ancient within. All the years you've spent searching, praying, begging heaven for a signal. The truth is, the universe has been waiting for you to light yourself. Emotion wells up, not fear, but release. Memories flood back the nights you thought you'd never rise again. The moments you cried for rescue and heard only silence. Now you understand that silence was the answer. In the silence, you grew. You became strong enough to hear the true whisper. Tears fall not from pain, but from recognition. Every wound had meaning. Nothing punished you. It was all preparation for this very instant. The moment you finally realize you were never abandoned. The sign confirms. Outside, the bells ring again. 4 chimes. You smile 454. It's no longer coincidence. It's confirmation you're on the right path. The lamp flickers, then softens to a gentle glow. The clock shifts to 12 in a row. A new circle begins. You whisper almost too quietly for anyone but your soul to hear, "I am ready." In that breath, time stops. Sound disappears. The world sinks into a silence so deep you can hear the echo of your own heartbeat rippling through space. Then a current of warm light flows toward you, not blinding, not harsh, just tender, like being held from behind by something eternal. And that same voice returns from this day forward. You no longer have to search for meaning. You are the meaning, the seal of light. Tonight is not just a date on a calendar nor the turn of a season. Tonight is the day of destiny for your soul. When the number 707 appears on a receipt, a license plate, or in a dream, remember it is heaven's signature written to you. A divine seal marking the completion of one sacred phase. It's not the beginning of a journey, it's the continuation of one your spirit left unfinished long ago. Even now, every cell in your body is reading from the ancient book of the universe, where every letter is made of light, and your name has been written there from the very beginning. The return. You open your eyes. Moonlight spills through the window, falling directly upon the calendar page marked with the number 7. A soft breeze stirs and the edge of the paper flutters. Tick-tock, tick-tock. The bells fade into distance, leaving behind a peace too deep to describe. You know without doubt from this moment on, every step you take, every soul you meet, every event that unfolds is no longer random. It is all part of a vast design, and you are its center. You stand, breathe deeply, and in the dim silver light of night, whisper, "When I hear these words, the sign has come." A quiet smile forms. No more fear, no more waiting, only stillness, the calm of one who knows they have come home. Because tonight, your day of destiny has begun. Part 4. The End of the Old Order. The night sky groans in shades of violet and gray. Skyscrapers tremble in the wind, and from deep within the earth comes a faint cracking click. Click. as if the world were splitting from the inside out. The old empire, with its rules, beliefs, and limits, once thought unbreakable, is crumbling piece by piece. No war, no blood, only the heavy silence of an age ending itself. The gods, the symbols humans once worshipped, begged, and feared, are quiet now. No thunder, no omens. Colossal statues cast long, cold, dust-covered shadows. Every soul on earth can feel it. Something is changing deeper than any revolution. And in the middle of this trembling, there you are standing still between two worlds. Dreams, memories, time itself blur and fold into one. What once frightened you grows small. What once felt certain dissolves like smoke. And strangely, within the collapse, you are not afraid. You feel something else, relief. Because your soul recognizes this is not an ending, this is a beginning. Ancient prophets once warned of a day of judgment when all that is old would burn. They did not lie, they were misunderstood. That fire does not come to destroy, it comes to rebirth. Like an old forest that must burn for seeds to break open, the old order must fall so true life can appear. Look around you, power systems are shaking. Humanity's faith in mere material things is fading. Science bows before what it cannot see. And within every heart a whisper rises. It will not be like before, it looks like collapse. But truly the universe is clearing a path for a new cycle. In this turning, you may see chaos, but do not mistake chaos for the end. Chaos is the rearranging of energy. Like a great canvas flipped to be repainted, colors must swirl, collide, and blend before a new image emerges. With fearful eyes you will see destruction. With the eyes of the soul you will see what is blooming. You may feel it in your own life. Work that once fit no longer does. Relationships that were close now feel distant. Old dreams fall like autumn leaves. And you ask, why is everything leaving at once? The answer is startlingly simple. Your soul no longer resonates with the old frequency. The universe is lightening your luggage before the journey ahead. Whatever no longer serves your growth will release itself, not to punish you, but to set you free. Remember, when a chapter ends, the book does not disappear. It turns the page. The end of the old order is not the death of the world, it is the soul changing roles. The gods are not silent because they were overthrown. They are making room for the divine within you to rise. From now on, you need not look up and beg. You are the prayer sent down to earth. The world in reset looks strange. Many will feel disoriented. Many pillars you trusted will fall, and your heart will ache. But believe this pain is not a sign of ruin. It is the sign of transformation. Like the butterfly, you must first dissolve in the cocoon to grow wings. When you feel yourself melting, it means a new form is taking shape. Imagine standing among the ruins of an ancient temple. Wind moves through broken columns. The sky is heavy, and you hear a quiet moan in the stone, the cry of memory. You bend and pick up a shard. On it, a faint carving reads, "All that is built by fear shall dissolve by light." You close your fist around the stone. Warmth spreads through your palm, and for a moment the shard glows. You understand. The light is not coming from outside. It is radiating from you. The world is healing through its breaking. As a body trembles before a fever breaks, the universe is purifying itself. What is rotten, crooked, and false must rise to the surface to be seen, forgiven, and released. And you, the awakened, are part of this fever. Let yourself weep, tremble, worry, but do not run. For after the pain, the light returns. In the chaos, you feel a hand rest upon your shoulder. No one stands there, and yet the warmth is real. You do not know if it is a god, an ancestor, or the deepest part of your own being, only that your heart eases beneath its touch. A voice comes soft as wind, gentle as water. You are not alone. We are all being reborn together. You nod, tears rising no longer from fear, but from being touched by truth. There is no ending, only transition. No destruction, only restructuring. The old empire will fall because it was built on fear. The new order will rise because it is born of compassion. The death of the old is the welcome of the new. And you, chosen one, stand in the middle, keeping the bridge from breaking, allowing the old world to dissolve in love rather than violence. When others see only rubble, you will be the first to notice green shoots rising from the ash. Look back at your path. Every loss, every fracture, every person who left, each taught you this: do not cling to what has passed, for the light is always ahead. Now close your eyes. Place your hand over your heart. Feel that pulse, the rhythm of life that never stops. It bears witness while everything else changes, you remain. And as long as you are here, there is hope for the world. The bells ring again, no longer an alarm, but the bell of a birth. The sky is still gray, but behind heavy clouds, a first blade of light appears. Warmth returns to the air. It is as if the universe exhales long and relieved. You smile, because now you know the end is simply how God writes a beginning. You open your eyes, and the world before you isn't frightening anymore. Cracks in the wall, the hard wind, the changes you don't yet understand, they are only the sounds of a symphony being rewritten. You extend your hand as if to rest it on another's shoulder, the way that unseen hand just rested on yours. And in that small act, you share a measure of your light. Do not fear, you whisper. Reset is not destruction, it is resurrection. Light spreads like a golden mist curling through the room. An old chapter closes, and from the quiet, a new one gently opens with you, the keeper of the coming dawn. Part 5, you architect of the new universe. Dawn spills across the horizon. The first light of a new day slips through the clouds, gentle as the Creator's hand resting upon the earth. Everything is washed in a pale gold, thin as mist, warm as the breath of life returning after a long night. No more thunder, no more cracking, only a powerful stillness, not the stillness of an ending, but the stillness of a beginning. Beneath that sky, you stand quiet, looking toward the distance. Your heart, having crossed the storms of chaos and rebirth, now beats slow, full, steady, in rhythm with a universe coming back to life. As the light touches you, you realize everything has changed. Not only the world around you, but the world within you. Old fear evaporates like vapor. Doubt vanishes the way darkness disappears at sunrise. You feel lighter, but not empty. On the contrary, a new warmth, strong and steady, spreads through your body as if every cell, every strand of DNA, every particle of light within you has just been rewritten. Now you understand the fall of the old empire was not to destroy, it was to make room for you to build. When the universe resets, it needs a new hand to redraw the blueprint. That hand is yours. Once humanity begged the gods for miracles. Now the heavens bow, waiting for you to create them. Once you asked, "Who am I in this world?" Now the world asks you, "Who am I in your vision?" You are no longer a witness, no longer only a prayer. You have become an architect, designing the universe with the energy of your soul. Every thought you form, every emotion you choose to keep, every action you take becomes new code in the structure of reality. Then before you, a scroll of light slowly unfurls, a sacred blueprint. There are no letters on it, only soft interwoven waves glowing gently. You see faces smiling, cities green and alive, hearts learning to love more deeply, to honor life more sincerely. This is the work you're being invited to complete. The Source does not hand you a finished drawing. He gives you the gift to draw. And with every heartbeat, you sketch another ribbon of light, shaped like compassion, understanding, and healing. Remember, the architect of a universe does not build with stone and steel, but with energy. Your weapon is not power, it is presence. Each time you choose love over fear, forgiveness, over blame, slowing down, over rushing, you are reshaping the world. You are the update creation has waited for across the ages. And now, as you stand in this dawn, everything in the cosmos is turning toward your frequency to begin a new chapter. Perhaps you still feel small. Listen, no soul is small once it remembers its mission. Within you, light expands like an ever-growing cosmos. With every inhale, thousands of stars tremble. With every exhale, time stretches another beat. This is how you create with breath, with awareness, with love. Look around, the world needs you. Someone is lost. Someone is hopeless. A heart is drying up from fear. With one smile, one touch, one kind word, you can alter the entire flow of their energy. You don't have to heal everyone. Begin with one soul. When you do, the effect ripples outward like waves and touches millions more. That is the art of creation. A small drop of light falls upon the lake of the soul, and suddenly the whole sky is reflected there. You understand now, true power is not control. It is the ability to reorder everything through love. When you love, reality rearranges to meet that vibration. When you give thanks, the energy within you creates a new current and things begin to move with grace. When you forgive, the past dissolves like morning mist. When you grow quiet, the universe whispers within you, "Thank you for remembering." A soft breeze passes carrying the scent of new grass. Light pours in, touching your face. You feel the warmth not only on your skin, but in every cell. It is the light of confirmation. The universe says, "Yes, you are the one." All doubt, comparison, and restless questions melt away. You no longer need to prove anything. You have become the answer. In that holy quiet, you kneel, place your hand upon the earth, and close your eyes. A vow rises, not a plea, but a commitment. I will use this breath to sow light, these hands to heal, this heart to love without condition. Though the world may change, I will remain the pulse of compassion. The vow dissolves into the wind, sinks into the soil, and it seems the sky itself bows to listen. A gentle tremor moves through the air as if the universe nods. You open your eyes and see a new blueprint before you, not on paper, but within your mind. Everything is brighter, lighter. Birdsong begins. The wind stirs the leaves. You smile. You understand your work is not to rebuild the world, but to awaken those still dreaming, to hand them the map engraved upon your heart, not by force, but by invitation. Light never coerces, it simply shines. You stand and take a long, full breath. Dawn rests upon your shoulders like a blessing. You know the road ahead will not be easy, but it is not frightening. When you walk, the light walks with you. When you fall, the light lifts you. When you speak, the universe listens. Then again, that ancient voice moves through the wind. Go now, architect of the new universe. The blueprint is ready, and the world is waiting for you to write the first chapter. You smile, no tears now, only light shimmering in your eyes. With each step, you take the ground blooms. With each breath you release, the air brightens one more shade. You know this truth: you were not only chosen, you have chosen yourself. And that is the holiest power God has ever placed in any soul. You lift your gaze to a sky opening wide with gold. Within, a small sound rises like the universe greeting you. Welcome back, Creator. You answer with all your heart, I have returned. Radiance pours over everything, dissolving the line between human and divine, old and new, limit and limitless. The world begins to breathe with you, calm, whole, luminous. And from that moment, a new era is born, not erected by distant deities, but by you, the architect of the new universe. The air grows so quiet you can hear the wind breathe. A warm, dim light paints the scene in pure gold, as if the universe were gently laying its hand upon the world. Everything slows: your breath, your heartbeat, even time. You close your eyes. A soft beam touches your heart, not blinding but human warm. And the voice that has followed you through this journey speaks again low, near tender as a lullaby. You are not forgotten. You are chosen, not a promise from outside, but an echo rising from your deepest self. The words open like ripples, then settle into perfect peace. Everything you've walked through, breakage, fear, wandering, was the road that led you here. Tonight is not a period. Tonight is an opening line of a new chapter within you. Breathe deep. Inhale, let light enter your heart. Exhale, let fear dissolve into nothing again. And this time, you feel it clearly, nothing left to grasp, nothing left to prove. You simply are. The light around you softens into tiny golden particles floating in the air. You lift your head and realize the universe is smiling. There is no applause, no grand music, only sacred stillness where everything returns to its rightful place. And in that stillness, one final sentence forms within: tonight does not end you. Tonight begins you. You open your eyes, heart light as a cloud. A cool breeze passes, carrying the scent of beginnings. Everything around you seems brighter, clearer. You know you are no longer who you were. One journey is complete. Another opens the journey of creating, loving, healing. If these words reached your heart, leave an amen, a signal to heaven that you are ready. Subscribe and step into this era of light with thousands of other chosen ones. And if someone comes to mind, just one person whom your spirit says needs this message, share this video with them. Perhaps that small act will awaken a sleeping soul. The light recedes, and only a soft whisper remains. You are chosen. Always have been.